Okay, so let me share my screen. So the question about tech.cpp, the reason I said is interesting. There's a perspective is that usually in the either C++ or JSON, that you have a 3 pigeonhole and then you have a 3 variable you put into those pigeonhole. But text CPP is try to convey to contrast a different style between JSON and the C++, because C++ is a strong type, or you can say is a typed language. It's not necessarily a strong type like Java, but it's a pretty good type system, which means that you have a fixed number of variable argument or members in anything you define. But JSON, on the other hand, everything is optional. And you can, the beauty or curse about JSON is that you can always introduce new things. So that's actually triggering something about the tag I want to convey during this study. Let me actually go back. Let me use this one first before I move to my, I think it's hw5produce, is that right? Okay, update 1 JSON. Wait a minute, what I'm doing. Oh, no, I make a mistake, sorry. Oh, I haven't make this. Let me make it first. Where's my, oh, okay, I know. So now we look at this 2. Let me make it a little bit longer. And now I can see, here I have a 2 tag. So this portion is a tag. I have a 2 tag. The first tag has 3 key value pair. And the second tag has only 2. And they're different. So which means that if you imagine that if I want to create a tag .h or whatever, I need to consider all possibility. And that's why in my tag, I'm actually in my tag.h, which is my C++ definition of a tag, I have 4 member attributes. I have avatar name, I have an index, I have a VSID, and I have a comment. Okay, I have to consider all of them because this is a mismatching between the JSON world and the C++ world. In fact, I expect in a development team, I'm not going to keep updating tag because if people want to tag a new thing, then I'm going to use either modify my tag.h or use inheritance to extend it to have a more complicated different type of tag. That's exactly what object-oriented programming is used for, to be extendable. Okay, but having said that, now we're going to worry about one thing about when I do the pigeonholing. Because when I process a tag object, I must decide whether this particular member exists in the JSON world. I have the way to differentiate that. So in one of the way I have been using is just make sure I use a command like a B0 to reset everything to null. And because each of them is, if it's a null, is not exists or it's empty, then I know this doesn't exist on the JSON side. And then I don't have to process, or when I do dump J, I don't have to deal with that. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to see how I can write a code for tag.cpp. Okay, let me actually get back here. Okay, I'm going back to my reference implementation. Okay, so now I'm going to deal with this tag.h. Okay, which is, you can see I have 4 variable: index, avatar name, VSID, and comment, which is the ID form of the comment, right? And I still have, well, I include core, but I didn't do inheritance. Great, I don't have to do the complicated thing. Okay, so I'm going to reusing one of my, I would just use my link.cpp again. So I use link.cpp, copy that to tech.cpp, okay? And Emacs tech.cpp. Okay, of course, the beginning is move this to tag and move to tag. But this part is easier because the tag, if I remember correctly, doesn't take anything. Let me see what I have. Yeah, my constructor takes nothing. So this part is easy. Just kill it. And nothing here. And then I probably don't need anything. I just have a empty. Okay, so now this part is interesting. I'm actually going to do a tag dumpj. Okay, so I assume somebody is going to assign the tag value when they do pigeonholing. I'm just saying, well, how do I do the dumpj? So dumpj format, let me just do, yeah, I will use this way. So dumpj is exactly like this, the result PTR when with this for. So instead of just, you can see that here when I do the link, I didn't check whether this is empty or not. So now I'm going to check. Okay, I'm going to check. Let me just hold on 1 second before I come back. I want to check one thing. Okay, I will just copy this part. Okay, I'm back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few things that's actually tell you what can be done. Okay, so what we need to check whether the index is valid. Okay, so the way we check is that saying that, well, the index has to be greater than 0 because if the index is 0, that means that's not a valid tag. So that's fine. You can actually decide how you're going to set it up. And if it's greater than 0 means that, okay, it's a valid tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just like what I did before, is a result pointer. Result pointer is creating a JSON because this is what we're going to return. And then just like what we did before is a result pointer, the index is equal to this index. Okay, this line is just putting the value into that JSON field. But this part is what I really want to show you is that I want to make sure that if this is really have an avatar name and the VSID. So if you want to tag it as a person, then this two must simultaneously exist. That's why in my line I said if this avatar name is not equal to null and this VSID is not equal to empty string, then I'm going to assign this two into this. So I only do this when they both are available. And you can do the same thing for comment ID as well. For comment, you're checking whether comment is empty or not, okay? So by doing this, you will be able to create a tag that's actually sensitive to whether that variable is indeed has some valid value, and then you will put it in the dumpj or put it in over here, okay? All right. Any question? I forgot who asked me about the tag. Yeah, I think Emily. Emily, does that Oh, okay. Um, Julia asked a question. What is the index? Okay, so now I have to go back here. You didn't handle this at all in this homework assignment, but I want to tell you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going back to my why this tag is there in the first place. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, if you look at the comment, this is the tag, right? This is the tag. The first tag is 1, the second tag is 2, right? This index is actually matching the comment. Did you see when I put this message, the comment, I said Peter, and I said head 1 head. So this is 1 is the index. So means that the word before this, Peter, is like a hyperlink, is tagged to that person. So means this Peter referring to that tag index number 1. And this is actually tag number 2. When somebody say Comcast, I'm referring to the other comment that's actually have this number 2 here, okay? So that was what the text used, but I didn't ask you to parse this. But if you want to be an advanced version of your code, when you want to display the whole JSON on a browser or on an application that browsing for like a Facebook type of environment, then you're going to take this one that's actually matching with that index 1, okay? Let me see, what do you mean by this? I think the reason I have that, Emily, it was just because I haven't finished the coding. I just, oh, this one I shouldn't have it. Yeah, this one it was from link. If I have here, I shouldn't have it here. Okay, so that's why if I have here, I probably should get rid of the first one. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will just not finish the code. Yeah. Well, index is not necessary for you parse the message, but in order for you to generate the right JSON for the tag part, that you still need to keep that index 1 there because the JSON still have that. Yeah, this is respond to Julia's comment. Okay, any question before I stop recording? Okay, let me stop recording.